Almost. Here we are.
Let's go.
Hey.
Good evening, Melrosians, the world over. Whoa.
What's
I'm
happening?
Tom Catalini.
I'm Jen LeClaire.
I'm Sam Hammer.
I'm Tom Shampoo.
And this is Let's Talk Melrose. Melrose, a show where Melrosians talk to Melrosians about Melrose. And is that not bad luck, Jen? What's happening over there?
I don't know, but you can't be too safe these days because it's July 13th and it's been raining every single day in July so far.
It's rained every single day in July.
Every
That's
day.
absolutely true. In fact, in fact, June had less than 3 inches of rain for the whole month, and July had 3 inches of rain in the first 2 days.
Oof.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Month.
Yeah, we're having June in July is what it feels like to me.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I love opening with weather. This is fantastic. No one's happier than me right now.
And props and costumes. I was ready with that.
All right.
I thought it was quite a pleasant day today outside. I just came back from a bike ride myself, which was nice to get together with the gang after work and do a little cycling. This was out in the Lexington area. That's why I was kind of last minute getting online here. But it was perfect weather for that. Not too hot, not too cool. No rain dropping at the moment. But I don't know. What are you going to do? The thing is, I'm saving tons of money on watering the lawn and whatnot. Right?
True.
Yeah,
True.
Totally. Although
you guys got to look at the bright side. That's what I'm here to teach you.
Oh, I have that bright, adorable umbrella. I get to accessorize. It's fine.
Tom's going to bring us along. That's all he's doing.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
So that's one of my favorite stories that probably comes from like Twitter lore or something where a guy was saying, with his child, every time it rains out, he goes, "Oh, great, it's raining. We can go out and splash in puddles and, get our fancy umbrellas out or whatever." Rain doesn't have to mean bad news all the time. We don't have to all be down on it. Take that frown and turn it upside down.
Yeah, totally. I used to love, my mom had it when I was a little kid. My mom had one of those bell-shaped umbrellas. And when I was really, really little, you'd go out and just crouch down under it. And you felt like you were in this little cave and it was raining all around you. I still love that when I was tiny. Yeah.
So,
anyway.
But Tom, you didn't finish the rest of that story, which is the kid responded by saying, "Excuse me, Dad, I'm working on my story right now."
Tom, you had Tomcat, you had a shout out you wanted to make?
Yes. So we had a graduation party this weekend for my daughter Annalise, who graduated Melrose High 2021. And among the decorations and the catering and all of that for a little family party were these cupcakes from Two Dogs Cupcakes right here in Melrose. And look at this, custom made.
Look at that.
Custom made. So you see Melrose High represented, Salem State University, where she's going to school.
Cool.
You see a little tennis because she played tennis. You see boba tea because her and her friends go out and get boba tea. So totally personalized, totally customized, delivered in a beautiful box and packaging. And then they're beautiful when you show them. And it was a very reasonable price. Two Dogs Cupcakes right here in Melrose.
In Melrose, really?
Oh no, this is why I'm plugging it.
I did not know that.
Cupcake baker right in your town, Jen.
I had no idea. Thanks for letting me know.
Get that umbrella, walk down to Ann Plummer's house, and get yourself some cupcakes. She probably put cute little umbrellas on it, and
whatever you want,
whatever you need.
Can you go back to the picture for a minute?
I certainly can.
So
we have the technology.
Okay, so if I'm glad you told me that it was tennis because I could also order those cupcakes if I was frying eggs in a pan.
Yes.
That's what that was.
Sunny side up.
So a breakfast cupcake if you needed one.
Sunny side
those
up.
are gorgeous. They're great.
Boundless talent in this city.
Yeah.
The apple shampoo is with the happy recipients of next day cupcakes. And
yes, you were not invited to the party, but you were able to receive some of the leftovers.
Yep,
That's true.
Yep. I heard they were good, but I wasn't certain for sure because not only were we not not invited to the party. We
No
did not get day old cupcakes.
I did not get a day old cupcake.
We got
either.
day after Swedish fish. Yes.
Hey,
It's all
before we, again, congratulations to Annalise and all the graduates.
And all the
Eli and all the graduates.
Thank you.
Hey, you know where Sam and I were? Before we get into the news, we got to get into the newsies.
Oh, right.
Right.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, where's our picture?
I just texted you. Do you have it?
Wait, we're gonna take a pause in the show for a commercial break while Jen and I find a picture of ourselves to put up.
It's in your text.
we went to Newsies, the Broken Leg production of Newsies, which was amazing. It's not even one of my top 50 favorite shows, but it was outstanding, and now I kind of love it. So if they come around, I highly recommend you have to go to these shows because they're spectacular. It's amazing what they can pull off in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Aren't they doing something like Mary Poppins next? Aren't they on to the next one already?
Now put that umbrella back up.
Yep. It's a little bright it's a little bright for Mary Poppins, but
let's go fly.
Yeah, Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins is ready for the rain, by the way.
That it is.
Yeah.
That is a Martin family favorite too. So I'll be like
Mary
muttering. I'll be muttering every word under my breath the entire time.
Isn't like the Dick Van Dyke movie like super creepy and like spacey? It's not.
Only when the cartoon penguins maybe show up.
Don't
Otherwise,
you disparage the great Dick Van Dyke? What is the matter with you?
He's still rocking it.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Of other things I've seen on Twitter, Dick Van Dyke is like exercise. He's in his 90s, exercising every day. Looks great. Good attitude. He's not afraid of the rain either.
No.
I don't think he added any weight for like 50 years to his life. He's weighed the exact same since Dick Van Dyke's TV show. And so anyway.
Well, he's also seen in the second Mary Poppins movie that came out.
That's right. He has a cameo. So Newsies was fantastic. You still have an opportunity to go see Mary Poppins. Cinderella's coming up. Les Mis is coming up. Broken Leg Productions. They do an amazing job, and it was a thrill to be back in the auditorium and see those kids live. They are so talented, and Adam Schuler does such an amazing job with this program. We are lucky to have him and this program in Melrose. And by the way, LTMM is a proud season sponsor of Broken Leg Productions.
It was so good because they said they were thanking their sponsors, which were in the program, were on the wall on the side. But I think we got the second biggest applause of the night for LTMM.
Which was a little surprising.
Not the first. Okay.
The first was for the show itself.
Yeah.
Well, if we got the first, we would have conceded to the actual performers.
So,
all right, here we go. Let's get on to the news.
There we go.
Sam Hammer reporting live from Melrose.
All right, excellent. This is me as amateur journalist again. So I read that the Melrose Public Library was finally awarded $8 million for building renovations to make it more accessible, more clean, more green by the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners.
Cute air horn, Tomcat.
8 million times. Can I hear that? Yeah.
8 times. Oh God, please don't tell me that.
So I didn't realize that this grant we applied for it back in 2017 and didn't get it. Waitlist, had been waiting for it. And now it's here. Here's the opportunity to finally do this work. Melrose does have to match this grant, so $8 million or whatever the balance is, but definitely the $8 million has to be matched and needs to go through city council approval. So this is a great opportunity for us to leverage the money that is right in front of us for a project that we have needed, that we do need, and that we really need in the future. So
I think I read somewhere it's like #1 on the capital improvement plan anyway. And it's like one of those things, if you get access to the retirement plan at work and they're going to match, like you're crazy not to take it. And,
right.
I agree.
And of course, in this case, we applied for it. So we made the decision to apply for it. So to not step up now would be kind of silly.
Yeah,
it cuts the price. It cuts the price of the job in half because we have $8 million given to us by this grant. So it really, truly is, to me, an opportunity that we have to take and have to look at carefully.
So
agreed.
accessible front entrance, a room dedicated for teens, other rooms for community meetings, moving the children's room out of the basement, new innovative technology space, new HVAC system, and more, all in the Patch article. Excellent reporting by Mike Karaji, as usual.
I have one suggestion. If you go to the Boston Public Library down on Boylston Street there, you'll see that WGBH has that window of media. Boom, LTMM. We need an LTMM window.
Only while we're waiting for MMTV to finish their studio there too. Our loyalties are with MMTV.
That'll be LTMM South. That'll be down the street if we have to do like a remote access or something. We should be everywhere.
Edith asked, how are we going to raise to match the funds? That's a good question. Well, there's money floating around. We talked to the mayor on this very show. I mean, we did a budget override some years ago. There's COVID relief funds coming in. It was a little difficult to get a handle on it. So hopefully by now there's some more. But there should be some money in the coffers. Plus, this was something we asked for.
Right.
And every year there's like $5 million left over for this free cash thing, just the leftover funds when you underspend for the budget. So there's money around.
Yes, and Sam, you had a bit of intel about.
We actually have
about bonding, and our bond rating is really high right now, and so
we have excellent credit because as we complain about most years, we are very conservative with our money and how we spend or don't spend our money and how we save a lot of it in capital reserves, etc. So we have an excellent credit rating. And I think the ability for us to, if we needed to borrow and bond this money at a lower interest rate to spread out the repayments over years and years, I think is an excellent opportunity to do that. It's kind of like, I looked at this is not like a great analogy, but like I moved here after the middle school was built, but knowing that was kind of like the last building, like physical building we had bonded for, and it was a much higher price tag, and it was, it was paid off over years. And I think, the taxpayer impact was, we'll do the data, our data team, our staff.
Yeah, the data interns.
Crunch the numbers.
Was nominal for the project.
And we can't imagine not having that building now. And I would say that the library is a centerpiece of any community, and ours really, really, really needs an upgrade in a number of ways, for the facilities and in ADA compliance, and just like being able to offer like next generation services that we're really good at. Our library does amazing programming for kids, teens, adults. It like any library, it is and can be even more of the centerpiece of our community and community gatherings. And I want to just add one thing. So our former host and colleague and friend and top fan extraordinaire, Steve Cozzella, was tweeting earlier about this McKinsey report that apparently McKinsey Consulting Company did for the state of Massachusetts. And it's about, oh my God, if I can pull up my phone fast enough. It's basically about like the future of work and all this data about like how people are going to be working and what kind of transportation they're going to need and what kind of amenities they're going to need and things like that. And it talked about about 32% more people are going to be working from home, taking classes at home, more and more online schooling, either at the university level, probably not at the, at our K through 12 level, but like at the university level, and people are working at home. So if you look ahead to this like post-COVID world, this is another opportunity where Melrose can be ready to embrace that world. Because if everybody is working at home at your house now, and you've got a university student trying to take classes at home sometimes, the library is a great place for students to be able to work if they need a quieter place than their own house because there's 6 other people working there, or to do your homework or to study. So it's really forward looking and future looking to this like post-COVID world if we invest in this right now. My 2 cents.
I mean, if not now, when? What are you going to put it off for when? Like, when are you going to do it? And there's $8 million on the table. So
you have a bird in the hand.
You cannot not pay attention to infrastructure. And this is actually an attractive piece of it, but that's a little bit more tangible. But you got to take care of stuff.
But to Sam's point about bonding it, I think it's a great opportunity to bond it. As she said, the last building we bonded was the middle school. And I think we're 4 or 5 years left on paying that off. And as Sam pointed out as well, it was a much higher price tag than the library would be. And I don't think it made significant impacts on people's purses to the tune that they would say, no, we don't want to do this because it costs us too much money. If you put it as a part of the city operations over the course of many, many years, then it becomes a much easier bill to pay. So again, it has to be done. We have the money. So now is the time, to me at least.
I agree.
Yeah, you're going to do that, and then you're going to move on to the, the police and safety building.
Fire.
I mean, there's a whole list of things, and so this is, I'm sure, baked into the plan. This was done years ago. The pitch.
Yeah.
We'll get there. It's the right thing to do. You got to keep that moving forward, and who knows? Maybe there will be some other event, Friends of the Library or something, where we'll get a chance to contribute a little bit more directly. But
we have. There's also a suggestion too coming across.
Yes, that's a great suggestion.
It's the best suggestion ever.
Okay, Jen, tell us what's going on with business.
Oh, well, so, because we are members now of the Melrose Chamber of Commerce, as you like to say it.
Chamber of Commerce.
So now,
I'm unarmed with my other thing.
So now we have our finger on the pulse of all the business news around Melrose as we get the newsletters from Jen Manning and the folks over at the Chamber. And I continue to hear about the good work that Garden Remedies is doing in the community and donations. So they've given money in the past or recently even to the Melrose Farmers Market for SNAP programs and things like that. They have recently provided a $30,000 gift to Mystic Valley Elder Services to ensure that program participants in Mystic Valley Elder Services in Melrose will have access to healthy aging services and prepared and nutritious meals. The Mystic Valley Elder services an average of about 675 Melrose residents per month. So that's money that will be well spent. And then Brian Moran, who's the co-CEO of Garden Remedies, was quoted in that newsletter. It said, Garden Remedies is focused on being a great neighbor and supporter in all communities we operate. Mystic Valley Elder Services focus on promoting health and independence for older adults, along with their nutrition and food distribution programs, has been incredibly important during this very difficult time. Garden Remedies is excited to assist with their phenomenal mission, and we look forward to continuing our strong relationship with them and the broad Melrose community. So it's the second kind of like food assistance program that they've supported, and healthy nutrition and stuff like that. So thank you to them. I just think it's great.
That's a win.
There we go.
That's a win. That's nice to hear about.
Yeah, it's good for them. Here's a big story to somebody. I'm not sure who, but I thought I would just mention it. There was a Small Business Association grant program during COVID for restaurants, and Massachusetts in total received almost a full $1 billion for this to be distributed to about 2,500 restaurants. Only one of those is in Melrose. Bobby C's down on Main Street received a grant for about $127,000. So good for them. I'm not sure why others didn't get it, if they applied and did not get it, or else they did not apply. But it sounds like a pretty big program in total. And again, Mass got $1 billion for restaurants and small businesses to use as grants, and so Bobby C's, good for them.
Oh, good. Okay, so maybe Bobby C's will build the beer garden then. Let's
get
in touch with them about that, maybe
on the daycare side, possibly.
Yes. Maybe it can be both daycare in the day and in the evening a beer garden. Let's maximize our space here.
I think in Mass it's legal to serve beer at 12, so that's just
There we go. Speaking of beer
and other restaurant news. So I talked about
news.
I talked about this last week because I took this photo and I was so excited to see Santa Fe coming to town. And then I was a little bit concerned to read this article about, I guess they're having a little bit of trouble with the liquor licensing. And there's just kind of some weird arcane stuff that we've dug into in the past on this show and then sort of forgot about. Like, if you actually read the bylaws, there's all kinds of like weird restrictions. So I guess Santa Fe is burrito bar, martini bar, and ice cream window, right? And so people were joking about that, but I think it's like a great concept. and they've got the windows opened up. It's the old Papagino's building, and I guess they wanted to have the bar, sit at the bar at the window and all of that. But it's not a sit-down restaurant, which I actually did think it was until I was learning about this. It's more like a Chipotle, where you go and get your food and bring it down to the table. And I guess this is causes a monkey wrench in the old throws a monkey wrench into the works of the arcane Melrose bylaws on liquor, where like we have rules like you have to have your food on a solid plate in order to have your drink, and you can't get your drink at the bar and then walk to a table, because I guess these are all the opportunities of yesteryear where the youngins would sneak in there
debauchery will happen,
or the debauchery
for sure.
or the debauchers, I guess. It's not necessarily the illegal youngers. I guess these are even legal people of age.
Just
may debauch themselves by
disrupting our lives,
getting too many drinks with their burrito or whatever it is. But it's this crazy backward stuff that I guess got held up at the Liquor Commission, and I guess there's another meeting in August that I might be tempted to participate in this one and weigh in, because, well, we talked about this before in the show, the whole controversy over the nips and Buckaloos and Beacon Hill getting a license to sell spirits. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
And the nip bottles and all that. And at the time, I remember reading a lot of the Liquor Commission rules, and there's just like weird stuff about like live music, and you can't have a cover charge, and you've got to have an appetizer or food from the menu every 2 drinks, and there's all these like crazy rules. When Rising Eagle opened, we sort of learned a little bit more about that. Like there's all these like weird rules, and I think at Rising Eagle was a self-service thing, but you had to have a server come over, I think, to order your drink, or you had to get it at the bar. Anyway, Santa Fe envisions something that sounds like a lot of fun, and these weird rules are getting in the way. So I think the rules need to be changed, is what I'm learning, and I think we got to pay closer attention going forward to this next meeting.
I agree, Tom. Let's bring in some. Let's have more of a conversation about this. Let's bring in.
Great idea. So I happen to have a neighbor who also feels very passionately about booze in Melrose.
It seems to be a theme among all of our friends.
What are the odds that one of your neighbors is passionate about booze?
I mean, he's on our side of the tracks, but across Wyoming. One of my favorite people to read on Facebook, I say he's like the best op-ed around, is our friend, Niall Fuentes. I'm going to bring you on. Ready? Here we go. Is there music, Tom?
There is, but there's a note here about Finn's tweet. Did we want to go over that?
Oh, we'll get to that in a second. Yeah.
Get to that
Let's
later.
bring Niall on.
Bring Niall on.
Oh my God. Thank you for coming on. I know you watch every single show or so.
Anytime Eric Wildman's on, I'm there.
You're here. I told you he'd be a good get. So we talked earlier, we went to Newsies this weekend, and before we went, we wanted to have dinner, Niall. And so there were 7 adults and 3 kids, 3+. And we couldn't figure out where to go. We wanted to just go somewhere, chill out, grab some nosh and some drinks, and just hang out. Lindo was on the table for a moment, but we really couldn't figure this out. So Santa Fe may be that place.
Yeah.
How do you feel about what's going on there?
So we're looking for the same thing. We're on the same page here. Just a little background. Besides being a local crank, as Sam would describe me, I spent a lot of my early formative years working in restaurants and kind of have an understanding. I'm in the back of the house, not owning or running or anything like that, but understanding how restaurants work. And one thing I'm really concerned about, besides me having a place to eat and going with all my friends and having a few and not just having one and then having to wait for this period of time and this period of time and get an appetizer. I'm a grown up. Give me 3 drinks. I'm not
the vision is a bar. I mean, they wanted to have a bar. Like it's not like a crazy concept.
Well, right. I think there's a concept. I mean, again, having lived here almost 20 years, And I think Edith made a comment, we were so glad to be able to have a beer anywhere. We were thankful, like, do whatever rules you want and we'll do it, you know?
Yeah.
So
Right.
it just made us so happy to do this
right.
without realizing we're doing all these crazy things because there are these people that, you know, again, probably in my church, you know, 100 years ago who are prohibitionists. And so their grandchildren are still here and thinking about, oh, you know, this place is going to be crazy and it's going to be like Austin in 1987. And you know, there's going to be like punk rock bands playing. I mean, I think it sounds awesome, but
I
know,
think I missed out on that.
You know,
Yeah.
it's not Austin Rock City, and thinking that Melrose, downtown Melrose, is going to be Austin Rock City. So I think, you know, looking at it from the restaurant's point of view, I think they have a business model. It's worked in other places. I think, to me, also it being Latino owned is something that's important to me, and bringing that type of diversity into the chamber. I mean, we can't just have one guy, you know, opening all the Latino restaurants in town. You know, so I think that, you know, there is a very thin margin these folks are working with. And if they're going to serve a quality project of food, they're making their money on the booze.
Right.
And, you know, and people in Melrose, this town has become somewhat more affluent as it's become, as I call it, Somerville by the Fells. A lot of people moving into town who are upper income, middle income, who will spend $12 for a fancy margarita. And
a well-made drink, if it's done properly, is worth $12. Oh,
right.
sorry.
So, that's fine. I was just going to say, because there was the place upstairs, the old Stearns and Hill, that was that martini bar atmosphere.
I can tell you exactly what was wrong with that.
Me too. Oh,
Too much open space. It was it was just weird. Too much open space.
Yep.
But again,
and hard potato couches.
The concept was here. And so rather than tweak and fix it, they just jump ship. I don't know if that's because it's Melrose or because it's them, but I'm with you. I want this to work, but I want to find a restaurant that's able to find the solution to the question, what's the most appropriate way to have a place that's not going to be a restaurant only, to allow to maybe have a live musician play once in a while.
So I agree with you, Tom, and I want our business rules and our commission laws and things to be friendly to those businesses. This is a good time to introduce Finn's tweet, as our friend No Fun Finn put up a tweet that I thought was spot on. Why can't we have more cool restaurants in downtown Melrose? Here's why. I mean, the commission wants to make sure any liquor bottles aren't visible from the street. It just sounds archaic. And Niall, you said something earlier that I think I said about maybe fire pits or something. Like, I really want our elected officials to treat me like the voting adult person that I am. Like you said, we're not trying to, all go off the rails here. Like, I'm an adult. I can handle myself in a restaurant and drinks establishment in the city that I live in. It's just absurd. But the Liquor Commission, I looked on the website that, first of all, there's 3 commissioners. And according to, there's very, 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 very little information on the website, but I do feel for them a little bit. It seems like their hands are a little bit tied, because it just says that they are the group with the power to grant, suspend, or revoke licenses and permits. So they just have to follow the existing rules. So if we don't like the rules, it's not necessarily their fault. I don't know how you change them, but I don't know.
So we learned on the whole NIPS debate, to change them is very doable, but non-trivial, right? I think it's got to go to the city council, and then it's got to go up to the state, and then come back. Like, it takes a bit to do that. Like, it's not like something that the Liquor Commission itself doesn't have the power, but the city has to take action. Then it has to go up to the state Liquor Commission and be okay by them and all of that. So it takes time. So that's what we were talking about the NIP thing. Like, we addressed sort of one little thing, but there's like 15 other weird rules in there that just need to be fixed. I think it should all be cleaned up.
But it seems like the commission, though, could act as the researchers and the advocates. Like, take a page from the Bike Ped Committee, where you really dive into the details and try to come up with the data and the arguments for these changes, and then try to present it to the city council or try to move it forward in that way. They could take a more active role if they wanted to, I think.
The argument is some of the rules are silly and outdated. Just move on.
I think that's not a knock on. I mean, one of the great things about Melrose is like there's all these people that volunteer for these commissions. They don't get paid, and they just want things to run well. And I think you people are part of this, right? You volunteer your time. You're not making the big bucks doing this, and that's super important. So it's not a knock.
We forgot to apply for the PPP loan,
and we really just need to figure out how to, like you said, change the rules. Because again, I'm looking at it from the business point of view and looking at people who want to come here. I mean, imagine if you would, for those of you who are former Somerville people, a Red Bones or something like that. And I think maybe this is the part where Brett comes and say, "That's not your part."
Something like a Red Bones, but better.
But with a wheel that spins that I can get whatever beer I want.
But again,
I'm a grown up and I can take my kid and have a lemonade, and I can have a beer. I can have 3 beers, and I swear to God, I'm going to walk home because I don't drive, because this is a very walkable city. Again, thanks to the Bike Ped community getting better. The types of plates, now that's just absurd. I mean, there's pieces of this that are just absurd rules and laws that are prohibiting people, and again, as a market-based person, from making money, coming in the community, bringing people jobs, and bringing us entertainment. I mean, that's important to us, and that's really what this conversation is about. We want to have a couple of beers, want to listen to some music, maybe play some rock and roll, maybe stand up out of your chair and dance. I don't know, whatever people want to do.
That's like the Footloose thing. I think we're going to.
I think we're around the Footloose. So I really try to come into the Footloose theme.
But Niall, you mentioned Red Bones, and Brett can debate whether the food was the best or not, but we went a lot for the experience. It was a fun place to go. You could take the kids. It was loud. It was messy. It was more about a place to go and gather and be out and doing that than it was about the food. I like the food, but it's more than that. It's the whole experience, and that's what Santa Fe is offering, and I want that.
Me too. And then I want an ice cream after.
But I feel like a lot of these have never been tested before. They were on the books for who knows how long. Remind viewers who were not living here more than 10 years ago that it was a dry town, right? So you couldn't even buy liquor.
That's true.
The part that I think concerns me is that there's a lot of vocal opposition to things that are such a low or no impact issue, right? So we now have places that can sell liquor, sell beer and wine on Main Street when we couldn't before this, right? So are there people who said back then, no, we shouldn't do this, who then today are saying, you see, look how many problems we have because someone's selling beer and wine. No, there's no problems. It's working fine. So I feel like this fear of selling beer at Mount Hood by people who aren't even going to use it, aren't going to play golf. So it's just this battle of back and forth for opinions when the reality is it doesn't change a whole lot about the city. It doesn't bring in a different kind of person. Beacon Hill Wines sells beer and wine to people who live here. And that's the end of the story.
And we're glad that they're there.
Yeah. So anyway, changing the laws, I think, is key. The whole point is changing the laws, I think, is key.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Elks and VFW selling booze the whole time. Just if you didn't belong, you weren't going and drinking there. So again, it was very slow.
We figured
Santa
that
Fe
out
Club. Santa Fe Club. Here we go. Done. Let's go. I'll be a member.
There's some more lawyers in this group.
Isn't that like in Texas or somewhere where you have to be like a member of a club and you pay
Utah?
$1?
Yeah,
is it Utah?
It's like 3-2 beer, and you have to be a member, and you need to buy the glass, and come on.
Well, it could be fun. I'm always looking for loopholes now.
So anyway, Santa Fe, what's the solution? What's the resolution?
Just do what they want to do. Let them do what they want to do, and see what happens.
But again, the commission doesn't have that authority. They're not told fix things. They're told
the power vested in LTMM.
We have the power to fix it.
We are declaring. What are we talking about in the show meeting? Civil disobedience.
Yes. That's right.
I'm going to drink a martini in the window.
Oh my God. Also, when we talked about civil disobedience, also reminded me of Niall and to invite him on the show. Again, he is one of my favorite
cranks.
Local crank.
Local crank
title.
So I was telling these guys earlier that like I read your stuff. You post a lot of your feelings and thoughts on Facebook, and they're very colorful, which I thoroughly appreciate. And then I finished reading, and I'm like, yes, that's exactly how I feel, and I'm glad somebody said it with all of that, all those 4-letter words. But where could you point to that your opinions and your value structures come from? Like, how did you get to be this awesome?
God. I don't know, just working and caring about the little guy. In this case, the little guy is some dude who's trying to bring me margaritas. But you know, I think that's where it comes from. And being a little bit of a crank, and also just to be out full, I'm a stroke survivor, so I have impulse control. So part of my cursing and stuff is probably because I just don't feel a need to control myself anymore. Except for work stuff, because that's what I thought Sam was going to get me on here and go into an education thing and get me fired. So that was the issue. But I mean, this is a great place to live. We've lived here almost 20 years. It's grown around us, which has been awesome. It's become, a better city. Everyone that's moved in here has made it a little bit different. Schools have gotten, I think, better and more engaged. There is some diversity growing, which is kind of nice. Like to see more of that. So I think, we live in a great community, and we should be able to go out for a beer.
To celebrate that.
Yes.
Right.
I totally agree.
Very, very well said. Very well
We've
said.
talked many, many times about the beer garden as well as part of that effort. So just saying, it has come up.
You want to close Main Street for a weekend, beer garden, pay for the library.
Watch the comments light up. Watch the comments light up here.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
I mean, you have someone come in like Idle Hands or Night Shift and say, have a beer war, and just sell all that beer, bring people over, have food trucks.
Have it at the summer stroll. How about at the summer stroll?
See? The comments were already awaiting.
Yes.
Brett could do a pig. It'd be great.
Yeah. Are you going to be at the summer stroll, Niall?
I guess so. I mean, got to get rid of the kids. That's the key, right?
Yeah.
I think kids are allowed at the summer stroll technically, but
I think they like it. Yeah, no, they like it to be. It's designed to be an evening out. I think. Yeah. It's that
for kids or no kids. I'm not anti-kid because families can't go if they have kids and no. I mean, but
I'm just
the reality is people can't go if they can't bring their kids, right? So
no, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think we have enough babysitters of age now with my daughter's friends, so we can organize that through this summer stroll as well.
There you go.
So true. Well, was at Newsies, I said, on Friday night. And so your family has always been, like, somebody in your family has always been a part of my family, which it sounds absurd, but so Elena was Sammy's book buddy at Lincoln.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And now you run PTO amongst other things. So
no, I just sit back.
And my wife was president of PTO for 2 years, and it's just like the most thankless task anyone could ever have in town.
Well, I thank her and all the others who have gone before her. It's always been all my friends and neighbors, and it's a great school community, and we are lucky to, like you said, Niall, like live in this great community. So we should probably toast to that and finish up.
Wrap up. Yeah.
Any last cranks?
Well, wait a minute. Where do we find Niall's stuff online?
Oh God.
Oh, you'd have to be his friend on Facebook.
The community pages.
Yeah, are you in Melrose messages?
I stay away from the community pages because people fight about everything.
Yeah.
I don't fight on. I mean, as much of a crank as I am, I don't fight on the internet because I just see people fighting, and I'm just like, including some of my friends that are probably listening, and I'm just like, I don't know how you do it. It would make me insane.
Yeah,
I'll fight with you in person. Like you want to come to my porch and want to yell at each other across the street? I'm down.
Oh. Okay, that's what we need to do. We need to have the next episode live from Niall's porch. This is the show we've been trying to get to, Niall. We just need to go to your porch.
Yes.
All right. Well, I feel like there's some golden gems in there. So I expect a friend invite from me as soon as the show is over.
Yeah, me too.
But
I think we might already be actually.
I feel like it needs a little bit more publicity. We also have been talking for a long time about a crank segment. Tom Shampoo has done a few rants, and so we could do a rant and a crank maybe every week.
Rants and cranks. Cranks and rants, yeah.
You can be our crank correspondent.
Yes.
I don't know how to take that, but okay.
It sounds good. It sounds good. It's all good. All right. Well, with that, I guess.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get into on-street parking today, then, right? Because that's a whole other. I only got
that was a whole thing.
Yeah, we'll have to bring you back for that.
That
discussed that as well.
Never
as
happened.
both the gens and city government know, like it's on-street parking and booze to me. Like those are the two. It's town.
Oh my God!
all right,
Wait a minute.
Getting
on-street parking.
Oh yeah, it slows down traffic.
Oh no, I'm anti on-street.
Oh no.
Oh, okay. We have to say
have it out. No way.
It slows traffic down. It makes it safer. It's
what parking does?
On-street parking.
Yeah, all right. I want to make sure that I'm clear.
Those are bad.
Okay, I
reasons
see.
to do it. You and that other guy that got all the ruckus going a year or two ago. That's a bad idea.
I don't know what is it. Is the whole thing about basement apartments and in-laws and I mean I know there's people who just don't want cars.
There's just weird. Some people legit don't have enough space. I mean, the way that, where the houses are laid out and all of that. So we make some exceptions or accommodations for that. But I love the off-street parking. And if you want to slow people down, put traffic bumps, bump outs from the curb. I mean, there's tons of other tools. The last thing you would do is let on-street.
Oh no, I'm all on-street.
I want to back up.
Why?
Niall, are you saying on-street for Main Street only or the whole city?
No, the whole city. It's chaos.
Sure.
I live up in Berwick, right?
I'm leaving town as soon as that's
most
approved.
of the houses on my street don't have driveways.
Right.
And they were built in 1891 or whatever. And it's like, you didn't need a driveway, but now it's like
horse out back.
People are working and they, two incomes and driving. And even if you hate cars and want public transportation, great. But then we have to improve public transportation too. And even then, I think post-pandemic, a lot of people are picking up those cars again.
I've given up on that. I've got friends. Actually, Eugenia was tweeting from her recent ride in the Orange Line, and it's an old, crappy, rusty car.
Yeah.
Water
It's
with all the rain.
Yeah.
All the rain is leaking in, and there's puddles on the seats. And I've just given up all hope. And the new Orange Line cars that we waited literally more than a decade for are now offline because there's some other problem with them. That's a problem.
Yeah.
But
they were in service, now out of service. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
All right. Sorry.
Okay.
So,
this was great, and I feel like we've got a future show, like the Colonel's
boxing
future
fundraiser.
show.
No, you know what we're gonna do? Point counterpoint.
Yeah.
I think I'd have a better chance in boxing, but okay.
I would probably just lay down as soon as that bell rings. Yeah.
Run away.
Face up or face down?
It's just a cower. All right.
Once we get into the beer garden, there's going to be all sorts of fisticuffs. So,
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
There'll be chaos all over the city.
It'll be like Beowulf.
I don't know what that is, but we'll see you around town.
All right.
Thanks.